What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? You know what time it is. Episode 51 up in the mix. Let's get it, baby. Before we get started, we're going to have Saint Electric, one of the OGs in the Solana community, and I'm going to be talking about CryptoGraf _art. But like I said, before we get to it, I'm your host, Gaddis TV. What's going on, y'all? If you got yourself an Android and or an iPhone, go ahead to the Play Store and or the App Store. Download the FTX app. Stay up to date with the latest cryptocurrencies and NFTs. Without further ado, let's get to it. Alrighty, and I was just saying that we are now live and in direct with Saint Electric. So first off, bro, thank you very much for coming in, tuning in, showing some love on the podcast, and taking some time out of your morning and then just coming on. So shout out and thank you for that.
Awesome. Glad to be here. Very excited. It's been a while since I've hopped onto the Thugbirds podcast. So great to see you, Gaddis, and knew about Dumb Money.
And likewise,
yeah. To have you here.
100%. Yeah, if y'all haven't seen it, at least I think two of them. I think the very first one, honestly, episode 1, and then one couple episodes after with the Thug DAO. I think you're in that one, honestly, as well. So again, man, shout out for you for coming in. Really how we kind of started off, a lot of people realistically will know who you are. You've been around the community for a long time, but honestly, just let people know who you are, what you were doing before crypto, honestly, what got you introduced to crypto. Just a little background about yourself.
Awesome. Yeah, listen, I didn't join crypto that long ago. It was probably only December 2020 when I bought my first Bitcoin. But I kind of fell down the rabbit hole, and then it was Ethereum, and then it was Solana. It was pretty wild, actually. So yeah, very excited to have gone through this process. And along the way, somewhere we picked up NFTs. And I was there with the Thugbirds at the start, trying to mint these wonderful little pixel things. And we could see there were problems with the initial mint. Everyone thought we might have gotten rugged. But thankfully, Birdmon came through. And then we managed to get our Thugbirds. But during that period of time, I spent a lot of time writing threads to educate people on the NFT space and the Solana space, because not many people were doing it. And you could see there was just so much positivity in the community. And so I wanted to help contribute to that. So if you jump on Twitter, you can find me at Saint Eclectic. And you'll see that in my pin post, I've got a whole bunch of content there to talk about the ecosystem from there's some really wild stories, from botting and hacks and some bad marketplace behaviors. But there's also a lot of positive stories, like how these really great communities have formed over time. So that's a little bit about me.
Nice. And I'll give you a shout out because you just won, honestly, an award for basically the threads in which you've done basically for the community. Is that correct? I mean, honestly, you seem like a humble person in general. I don't know you really too well, to be honest with everyone, but I mean, is that correct for basically for the stuff that you have done? I mean, is that correct? You won an award?
Yeah. So, gosh, I woke up a few days ago to a lot of really nice messages of support. And I'd won this community award from the Solana Foundation just for contributions to the space, and very, very humbled by that because, like I said, there's so many positive people in the community out there, and so many other deserving people. So it's great to get a little bit of recognition, and we'll just keep doing what I do and hope to educate and help as many people as possible.
No, 100%. I remember honestly when I first got in the space of Solana in general, reading some of the posts. Just from because I had to learn, you know what I mean? And I still, of course, I'm learning on that one. I guess quick couple questions before I get to the project you're working with. I guess where did you start with? Or you said 2020 with Bitcoin. What got you introduced and got you over to Solana? Was it, I guess, the NFT stuff, just transactions being quicker, or what was the reasoning on coming on to Solana?
Actually, I saw Sam Bankman-Fried get on an interview somewhere. And he started talking about Solana and Serum, and I was like, oh, there are other blockchains. And at that time, I started to get burnt on Ethereum gas fees. Even at the start of the year, it was very clear that if you weren't in Ethereum when it was a couple of $100 or even less, or maybe even 500, then you couldn't really afford to be paying, 30 to 50, $100 a transaction. So I started playing around with other alternatives. I was doing some liquidity providing back in March, May, and then the crash kind of happened. But and so that was painful, but it was a great lesson because I'd already sort of started playing around with Solana, and I was playing with Solflare wallets and Solid wallets. And then Phantom came out, and it all sort of kicked off from there. And then so did the NFT wave. And so I was well positioned, given I roughly knew how the ecosystem worked, to participate in Solana.
Nice. Yeah. Shout out to my buddy because he kind of the same with you. He saw, I guess, interviews with Sam and everything like way before, and he's like, bro, this cat is it. Like, he's it, and he's so far still it. So a shout out to Sam on that. And then I guess with the project for what you do have going on, I guess one, what is the project name? Why'd you start it? And overall, what is it?
Awesome. So yeah, I've been working on a project for a couple of months now with some in real life friends. We're really passionate about crypto. We love the Solana blockchain, and we wanted to build something on it. And so the project is called CryptoGraf, Graf. And what it is, it's a celebration of art, street art, graffiti, and also crypto communities. So, I was very lucky to win that award. It was very community focused, and that's what I've always been doing while I was at Solana. I've helped build the DGen Ape Academy DAO. I've participated in the Thug DAO as well, given how much I love what is being done there. And so I wanted to build a project that was really, prioritizing community as well as art. And so what CryptoGraf is, while it is an NFT project with profile picture attached to it, the main feature is an interactive pixel canvas that if you hold the NFT, you can actually start drawing on. And because the canvas is so big, 1,000 by 1,000 pixels, you're not going to be able to dominate by yourself. You're going to have to work with your friend or your communities to draw what you want, right? So you got to fight and reserve your space. So that's the idea. We hope to bring all the communities of Solana to draw on it. And then at the end of 2 weeks, we will snapshot that. And hopefully it's something that will be the first art expression collectively by the community.
Nice. With I guess people that are kind of into the scene. I mean, like me, but granted, I never made an NFT, anything like that. I guess you were saying it's the biggest 1,000 by 1,000 pixel. I guess what is a normal, you know what I mean? NFT pixel size comparative to, I guess what is like the size difference in comparison?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a tricky one. I think off the top of my head, Solana Monkey Business might be around 25 by 25, maybe slightly more. Not 100% sure. So as you can tell, that would be a tiny little thing on the canvas. And we want to make it big so that people can draw on it. And at least for the first canvas, we're going to call that the Genesis canvas. We're going to let it run for 2 weeks. We're going to let people be creative as they want. At least for those 2 weeks, we will probably reserve a couple of spots for some of the OG collections. So for example, Thugbirds was one of the NFTs on Solana that really helped kick it all off. So we'll reserve a section for Thugbirds to draw on. And to draw on that, you're going to need a Thugbird NFT as well as a CryptoGraf NFT. But of course, in the big white space in the middle, anyone can do whatever they want.
With I like the idea because I mean, again, I've said it before. I'm a visual person, and I think of it as kind of like paint. When it's a blank screen, everything like that. I guess how are people going to be able to draw? Is it like a desktop feature, like a web, I guess feature? How is that going to be done?
Mm-hmm. So our dev is building that out now, but it will be on the website. So you will log in and connect your Solana or Phantom wallet into the page. It will check to make sure that you have one of the NFTs, and then you'll select which one that you want to use. And those NFTs, depending on their rarity, will replenish their paint store faster over time. So let's say you start off with 200 pixels. You can paint whatever you want, but then you kind of get to zero after a while if you go very aggressive, and then it replenishes slowly after time, right? And then you will just be clicking on a pixel canvas to drop your pixel, and you can zoom in and out with your mouse wheel, and then also kind of drag and drop to move around the map a bit since it's so big.
I got you. With I guess question on how I guess how are y'all going to figure out how much I guess paint and stuff like that is going to be able to be used, and then for the real artistic people, you know what I mean? Say if me, I'm just doing a thugberry, just quick line, but say someone wants to like shade it in, get it in depth. I guess how will that happen with paint buckets?
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Great question. So see, on that one, you're going to have to work together with your artist friend. So maybe you do the outline and you tell him, hey, can you save your paint for the shading part, right? Save your paint to fill out my bird. And that's how it's going to work. Now, again, it's a really good question because as a social and fun and art experiment, we have to be able to calibrate it over time. So what we're doing is we are reserving the right to play around with the replenishment rate. So if we see live that the canvas is, really busy, a lot of traffic, everyone going crazy, we might slow down the replenishment rate overall a little bit. But if it's, a little bit slow and people are still kind of like finding their way and finding their feet, then what we might do is we'll increase the replenishment rate a little bit to incentivize participation. So it is a bit of a moving target. As most of these things, it's a little bit of an experiment, but we hope to get the balance right. And we hope that actually we'll end up slowing it down more because we get communities showing up together to make an effort.
And I guess for communities, are there certain, I guess, things that I guess would honestly incentivize someone to come on there and draw on it, or I guess on like what type of people do you want to honestly attract? Because I can see doing some stuff in depth with like a whole bunch of like artists, like actual artists, you know what I mean, doing some stuff, and then of course being realistic, I can see on the other side just we talked before with a whole bunch of dicks on the screen, things like that. So I guess how is that going to be not decided, but be done there?
Yeah, 100% we're going to see some rude things on there. But that's the beauty of it, right? It's a decentralized art piece. And so you can do whatever you want. And it's all about celebrating freedom and art expression. But in terms of incentive, like what's going to bring the people across? Well, first of all, we want strong community. So we want thugbirds all up in there. We want to see koko all over the map, right? We want to see birds. We want to see monkeys. Koko! We want to see degen apes. We want to see some of the other big communities out there: geckos, meerkats, zillas, so many different ones, pesky penguins, and so I think if the communities rally together, I think they will really work well together to come. Now, in terms of incentivization, what's the incentivization? That's an interesting part here. One of the things that we've seen recently is this thing called fractionalization. So that's where you take an NFT, and that NFT might be ultra rare, and you fractionalize it. You split it up into, let's say, 1,000 parts, and then you can send it or sell it to people in the market. And then suddenly, everyone owns a piece of that NFT. So for example, I think Solana monkey business is quite expensive these days. And one of the top ones might go for, who knows, right? Like several $100,000 to $1 million.
Just a little bit of money.
Just a little bit, and like people like, oh gosh, you and me, that's pretty ridiculous to buy on your own. So, someone might buy it and then fractionalize it and then let others own a piece of it, right? But the problem with that is that it doesn't grant you access to MonkeyDAO because you need to have the whole token in your wallet. So fractionalization has got some really cool benefits, but it when you use it in that method, it only really helps you be exposed financially to the price of the underlying NFT. So how does this apply in Cryptograph? Well, what we're going to do with the canvas, at least for the first canvas, after 2 weeks, we're going to tell everyone, hey, we're going to snapshot this in 2 weeks' time. So get your drawing in, get your representation for your community up. Then we're going to turn that into an NFT and fractionalize it. And then once we fractionalize it, we will send all the pieces. I think the team will take a little bit, but we'll send the majority of pieces to everyone that contributed, everyone that painted. So it's really art by the people, for the people. And it's a kind of, in my opinion, it's kind of a cool way to use fractionalization because you're not just fractionalizing a valuable NFT, you're fractionalizing something that someone worked on, right? You put that effort in there, you put the paintbrush to the canvas, and you get to take a bit of that home for yourself.
No, I mean I like it because it gives you some of the like personal attachment to it. Like you said, I mean, on the fractionalization, on just owning like a piece of S&B. I mean, shoot, I do it. You know what I mean? Because again, I don't have that type of money. But on the flip side, I can see how if it was something you put effort and work into on wanting to honestly own a piece of that. Because as far as I know, and I don't know a lot, don't get me wrong, but I don't think another I guess project has done something like y'all are doing, at least where you make something and then you drop it to. Is it gonna be strictly just to those people? And they have to have, I guess, y'all's mint on there. Is that correct?
Yeah, so I think we're working the exact specifics out with our dev and how we build, but basically whoever has logged in and started playing around with it, that's who we want to reward, right? Because again, this is community and participation focused. We want them to be rewarded for it. Now, I think some of the people who are listening might not fully understand fractionalization because it is a relatively new concept. And gosh, it took me a while to wrap my head around it too. But the idea is once we fractionalize it and send it out to everybody, let's say we fractionalize it into 1,000 pieces because there were 1,000 painters. What we'll do is you always have to set a reserve price when you do that. So we could set it at, let's say, 100 Solana. Okay, that I think right at today's prices, that's 15,000.
Mm-hmm.
And what will happen is that if someone wants to bid for that NFT, they can. And we'll set the price low so that we can encourage people, and then we'll have the auction open for like a week. So then we will see true price discovery on who and how they value this. But at the end of the auction, once that's done, so let's say someone bids up to 200 Sol, which is about $30,000. Well, they will get the NFT, and then they will pay that money, and that money can then be claimed by everyone who's got a fraction, proportional to how many fractions they have. So there is a bit of a fun financial incentive. Now, it's not going to be huge if there are like 1,000 painters, right?
Mm-hmm.
But at the very least, it's a little something that's a little unique. And that's only the first canvas. We can always continue with subsequent canvases.
And then I guess with your mint, like exactly. I guess, is it going to be kind of what I'm looking at on the screen with like the dog, like that type of art, or I guess what are people going to be minting before they start drawing on the canvas?
Yeah, absolutely. So as I said before, this also is a NFT profile picture project. That's how we are structuring it. And you will need one of these NFTs to draw on the canvas. And so what we've done is most NFTs usually have one or two bases. So basically the base model that they put all the traits on top of. But what we focused on is making this high effort, high quality. So for the collection of 5555, we're actually going to have 6 bases.
Okay.
4 special ones that are a little bit rarer, and then sort of 2 of the slightly more common ones, but even then they will be quite special in our view. Our artist has been an artist, a graffiti artist, a mural painter all of his life. He's someone that we know very well in real life. And interestingly enough, I think he's actually spent some time, behind bars as well for tagging trains in a certain country I don't think I can say. And he's banned from another one I know because they caught him on TV, but never actually.
They caught him on TV.
Yeah, no, on those.
Ladies
One
and
of those.
gentlemen, jam.
So
Hopefully, no one's
I think
watching that. Jeez.
he wears it as a bit of a badge of honor, but to us that's really exciting to work with a real artist. If you go to our Twitter, you can see some of his work, and our Discord as well. We have sneak peeks in there, but the art is very focused. If you have a look at the style, everything is hand drawn. He's hand drawn all of them, and they're layered, right, to bring out the feeling of graffiti and street art. Because that's what graffiti is, right? You're layering different things. You're adding little flourishes and motifs, little letters here and there. And I think if you see the art, you'll probably be able to see a bit of that.
Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know if you can see the screen. I'm looking at the Michael Jordan one. Is that, I guess, one of like the NFTs that people were getting in their wallet, or is that something he's physically tagged? And then third question, is that the artist who made what I'm looking at? Or
yeah, so that is the artist. That's our artist. That's a piece of his work. That one was hand painted. That's not going to be an NFT. We just wanted to showcase his talent. But the style and art is somewhat reminiscent of what you'll see on the Cryptograph NFTs, and we're also, I think there's one of Frida that we have up. There's also one of we call him that guy because he's a street graffiti artist. Oh yeah, there you go. So you've got Frida up on screen there. Yeah, so that you can see that there's a lot of layers, and it's very detailed. All of that's hand drawn.
So this one, because what I was looking at beforehand on the Michael Jordan one, you could literally see, like, I guess technically it was actually like brush strokes, like it was just super in depth. So I don't know if it was something like it was done that way or I
Yeah,
guess
so for MJ, that one was brushstrokes. So he painted that one in real life.
detail was
Uh,
fresh.
yeah, I mean, look, as we all are, we're a big fan of the greatest. And when he heard about the whole Michael Jordan being onboarded to Solana with his son, he just went ahead and painted something. Artists, right? They hear something and then they just go off on a creative tangent. So we thought that was really cool for him to have done, and we wanted to share that. On this NFTs that we're putting together, it's not a brush. I think he's using a pen on a pad. But again, it's still very layered. It's all completely hand drawn. And yeah, we're really excited for people to see the art. We'll be doing more sneak peeks as the days come by, but right now we've mostly spoiled some of Frida's cool traits, and then we'll be doing a little bit more as well. I see on the screen right now you've got some stickers up there. What do you
Are
think of them?
those actual stickers y'all put around, I guess, Paris, stuff like that, or y'all tagging Paris up over there?
Yeah, so another big part of street art is sticker art, right? And it's a little bit rebellious, it's a little bit fun. And so what we did was we got some of these stickers together, and I think if you find in one of our previous posts as well, it's hidden there somewhere. I can probably find it for you. We have a picture of the stack of Cryptograph stickers that we put together, and then we have friends
Nice.
around the place to print them out and then slap them. So in sort of the street world, you call it slapping, because you run and slap the sticker on, and then you run away.
Okay,
And
okay.
if you look carefully at those stickers over there, they are what you call eggshell stickers. And the reason why they're called eggshell is because they've been treated and coated with this material. So when you try to remove them, they break
Mm.
apart and you just can't. I mean, look at the bottom right one. You can see
Y'all are
it basically is
savages. I
it,
like
it
it.
is savage. But eventually someone will remove it. I'm pretty sure it'll be gone already soon. But that was just a little bit of fun that we did. And so those pictures you see there are a little fun competition that we are having to get people to guess
Nice.
where in the world we got our friends and various team members to slap those. And if people, the closest guesses will end up getting some prizes, some NFTs, and some whitelist spaces.
Nice. Not even
And and
the picture in general, like with this one, it granted again, I'm not an artist, nothing like that, but listening and knowing what y'all are conveying into like the street art, like it looks like a street art picture. You know what I mean? It would be like a regular like. Actually, I really like the picture. I know this isn't even in the NFT, but like everything you're doing now, it actually makes sense because I guess y'all been slapping for a while now. So keep slapping on that, dude.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like, I mean, for us, it's really about the effort and the ethos. Like, we want people to engage with this. We want this to be very much high effort and people to hang around. I think the problem in NFTs, we've been around there for a long time. The problem is, you tend to get a lot of people who want to flip, buy and flip, buy and flip. And that's okay too, because that helps to make the market. But at the same time, it sometimes can you incentivize the wrong thing. So what we're doing is going to incentivize participation. If you jump into our Discord, for example, we do have a couple of tiers, right? And I think given all the botting problem that's happening, we really want to reward people who participate in the community. So if you join if you join this server, share some of your art, enter the discussion about graffiti and street art, participate in our competitions. We'll be also running some trivia nights as well for fun. If you do some of that, then we'll get our mods to level you up, and then those different levels will get one whitelist token or two whitelist tokens, that sort of thing. It's not going to be for everybody. Some people will just want to come in and mint, and that's totally fine. We will make sure that we have public space for that. But we also really want to reward the right people who participate, because they'll form the basis of our community, and they'll form the people that paint on the canvas.
That's
No,
what's refreshing to me, that this project is going to be like a really participation driven project, not so much like just mint and dump, hoping to speculate and stuff like that. So that's what really intrigued me on it, and I think it's good to bring a lot of people in. I don't think anybody's really worried about where the price is going. I think they're just worried about. Well, I know what I'm worried about. I'm worried about getting my little piece of art on that canvas. So and that's what I like about this project.
Thank you, man. Yeah, no, we appreciate that. And listen, you're always going to get a subsegment of the community that will buy and dump, right? And that, again, that's totally cool because that's how the market is made. But obviously, we want to make sure we have space for the ones that really want to play on the canvas. And that's why I hope to see Thugbirds go nuts because we are reserving a space for Thugbirds. And I can't wait to see some coral all over the place, as I said before.
Con everywhere. And shout out to I need the money at bowling right now. How many strikes you got right now, bro? Hopefully some. One, maybe any.
Oh, I was just throwing. Damn, you just said that, and I almost got it. I think you just. I'm killing it right now. Here, let's get the video up one time. Shit, look.
You ready? Love it. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, the bowling.
Oh, bro.
Did you hit the gutter, bro? Oh, we live and direct too, bro. Jesus. I love it.
Gatis, I just sent you a link on your Discord just to show you some of the stuff that we prepared before we slapped. We took a photo for posterity.
I can check it on my phone because
Oh, what's the easiest place for me to send that to you? Twitter?
Yeah, probably that way. I mean, everything's always live. I mean, I don't really care. What we got here? Boom, boom. Oh, damn, son. Oh, it's on y'all's Twitter page? Hold on. Let me see here. Y'all got, how many stickers is that, bro? Like,
that is a lot.
4,000? 12,000? Hold on.
Yo, the art is super dope. I'm just going to say that one time. Like, I was going through the other day. The art is, like, rad, dude. I love the art.
Yeah. Who's the artist? I mean, I guess don't tell him too much because he's, been got on live, I guess, TV and stuff like that. But yeah, how long has he been doing it? And then I guess another thing, I think you said y'all were kind of all friends, at least knew each other. How long has all this been in like inception? You know what I mean? Was it hard to get all the friends together on one thing? Or I know a lot of projects literally been people like reaching out on Twitter just to random people saying, hey, I want to do X, Y, and Z, but I need help doing it this way. How initially did the whole thing start that way?
Yeah, good question. So for that one, we've known each other for almost 10 plus years. And, all of us came into crypto at different times. In fact, the key guys that drove it at the start were guys who'd been in, Bitcoin and Ethereum since almost the start. And so I'd always sort of avoided it. I always thought it was a Ponzi, and it took me a while to get there, but I went hard into NFTs. And so what really was nice was that our various skill sets kind of aligned, that we didn't really need to find anyone. So, those guys I mentioned before, they're great on development. One of them builds and codes all day, and the other one does that as well as very good at driving operations and that sort of thing. On my side, I bring the community element. I work pretty hard to get all this done as well. And then we have the artist friend who's been doing it all his life. And, as I said, he's been in trouble with the authorities before, because that's him. He loves tagging. When we first put this, we all sat down and we watched the seminal documentary on street art, which is called Style Wars. It was back in the 1980s. And, definitely would recommend anyone who's interested in that checking it out, because it shows you all of the graffiti, how it started in the 1980s in New York, and, that really streak of rebelliousness. And it used to be hated, right? People misunderstood it. There's someone on that video saying, oh, this is just terrible. This is rubbish. It's just youths that are acting out. Maybe that was slightly true, but over time, it's become really loved. Now you've seen like street art emerge out of that. And in many ways, when we were thinking about what to make for our project, because we're so passionate about crypto, we realized that there are parallels between the two, right? Because if you think about Bitcoin, Ethereum, blockchain, and all that, it was very misunderstood and very hated. It even is today to some extent. But then over time, it started to get more and more global adoption as people realized the freedom that it gives in terms of finance to the world. And now we want to use that to have more freedom of expression.
No, I like it. And actually, I I agree what you're saying, even though again I'm not an artist or anything like that, but all of it honestly makes sense just on like the project and like the real life stuff on what y'all doing. So I'm really I like honestly everything, man, for the most part. Again, not trying to be all crazy, but like even like Money said, like the art, dope. You know what I mean? So even if it was just that, like it's
Mhm.
fresh. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, and it's a good thing you raised because look, these days the NFT market moves very quickly, especially in Solana because gas fees are so low and people are minting like crazy all the time, right? You don't last unless you've got a good theme, a mission statement that you believe in, and a community that supports that. So we want to build this organically, slow, and really high quality, and that really is the goal. Now, if people,
what do y'all
because
want to
one
be
of the
known for? Sorry to cut you off, but like just because that's making me want to think like on what you were just saying. What does cryptograph honestly want to be known for?
yeah, so two things, art and community, right? And it's a celebration of art, and we want to be able to showcase future artists as well in the future. But also, we want that community to be established, right? People that care about these things, people that interact with one another, because they are the real things that make things survive. You look at things like Solana Monkey Business, right? Monkey DAO was formed and that sustained that project. You look at Thugbirds, ThugDAO was formed and it was all about the caw and people adding each other and people like liking each other's posts. Caw. So that's what we want to be known for. And there's a lot of projects out there that offer really great utility, like shadowy supercoders. You've even got some of the crazy gambling coins, and all of those things do crazy amounts. They go like 10x or 20x or whatever from their mint, right? But we are not offering that. We're not offering you a utility token. Some people will see this as utility because you get to draw and have fun, and you might also get some financial return, although relatively small, from the canvas, depending on how many people participate. But this really is about the art and community and doing something really unique that hasn't otherwise been done yet. So that's important to know when you look at something like this, right? I would advise a word of caution. In general, I always say this to people: always do your own research, and it's not financial advice. So do your own research and don't ape into stuff expecting like 100x return, right? Because this is about the
Nope, I am
participation.
aping solely on your background only, and I will completely blame you if it goes to zero.
Yeah, exactly, right? So
No, obviously it's not financial advice, but I'm really excited for the project just because it's not a financially driven project for once for me. It's actually like I'm excited to be a part of it. I think the geese are gonna try and get a hold of something. They're gonna hold like a little thing to little like mini contest to see who best represents us and throw down the best
Nice.
honk honk down there. You know what I mean? But like I'm really excited, man. I'm really and honestly, the team couldn't have a better person like representing them in you. Like I can vouch for Saint. Like Saint's like a fucking beauty. He, he's integral in like the early days of the thugs and stuff like that. He's a beauty, and like any project that he's a part of, obviously it's not financial advice. Like he was saying, like all jokes aside, I have like full confidence in like investing. Like it's not even that much, right, to me, but I think my money's in good hands when it comes to you. So yeah, man, keep it up.
thank you. No, I appreciate that. Like that really means a lot. We've been grinding and been in the space for a long time, so it does fill my heart with warmth when he says thank you, man.
Of
I got
course, man.
One
the
thing,
Anytime.
one thing, Gaddis, I forgot to mention.
yeah.
You said what do we want to be known for? The whole art thing as well. So after the first canvas ends, we have a whole bunch of ideas about what we could do next, and we're going to incorporate communities' views as well. But one of the ideas is that you keep some of the reserve space for canvas number two, and you give them to one-of-one artists, and you see what they can come up with, and that can act as a showcase for their work. And then once that's done in 2 weeks, again, you fractionalize it, same thing, and you send it out to everyone that participated. Of course, you would give more to the one-of-one artists because it's their work. But that's another cool idea. And then the third one I had was what happens if we did a snapshot once every 24 hours? And then we tell people, hey, listen, we're snapshotting now. Okay, your turn to change the canvas as much as you can. Then we snapshot again in 24 hours. Then we snapshot again in 24 hours. Then basically you could create a GIF of how the thing evolves in like 7 days or something like that. And then that becomes the next NFT, right? So there's a lot of crazy, wild, and fun ideas.
Possibilities.
And when we think about, New Dumb Money's work in music, we could even add music to it, right? And make that GIF sort of have sound as well. So, it's all about art expression and creative ideas.
Last couple questions because we are right at the 35-minute marker, and again, I know money's with family. You got to go soon as well. Damn, I had a great question I was about to ask you on that one too, but if I remember it, I'll get back to it. Honestly, one of the things I've always asked, like every project, and you might be a little bit different because you've been around for a minute or just, like know people, everything like that. What were some of the, I guess, the hiccups, the problems, so to say, that y'all encountered on the way to here? You know what I mean? If you did encounter any of them, how did you get over them? And like, what advice would you give, honestly, other projects in general trying to start?
Yeah, so I think the biggest problem is probably that building a community is really hard and it takes time and it takes effort. So I would say never try to rush it too much. We obviously started our physical and public presence about a couple of weeks ago, but we've grinded by reaching out to all of the really big communities out there and the ones that we think will be fighting for a space, right? And it was a real struggle to get in touch with them. I was lucky because I'd written some threads before, so they knew who I was. But make sure that you have a big team behind you or people that you can hire, like mods and stuff like that, to really support you, because it takes a lot of effort to put all this together and you don't realize it at the time. And when I speak to friends who have done their own projects, right, they always say the same thing. They literally are not sleeping for 72 hours straight. And I've kind of gone through the same thing as well. So make sure you have a team. Don't be afraid to hire and use some of your resources to really do a good quality project, and give yourself a lot of lead time, because even the art can be very difficult to finesse sometimes, especially if it's hand drawn. When you're creating these generative things, you got to make sure that the art hangs together, that the traits don't, overlap. And if they overlap, then you've got to do like a custom edit. For example, if you have someone holding a pipe or something and it looks weird because of the way it interacts with the clothes, then you need to do a proper custom edit. Attention to detail, give yourself a lot of time.
No, I would agree with everything, and I'm kind of like Money said. I'm excited just about y'all's project because one, of course, every project in the NFT project in general will make money. You know what I mean? But like, again, maybe I could be fooled, everyone else could be fooled listening, but you hear the passion like in your voice and just the genuine like and it seems like love for just art, and that's what I think people will appreciate as well. Honestly, just in general. So again, I'm happy to see and hyped to see where y'all are gonna go to. Question with the artist. Was this his first, I guess, NFT thing he's been into? And I guess since y'all are all friends, do you think he ever saw himself going from tagging things to, making NFTs and doing stuff on the blockchain?
Yeah, it's definitely his first thing. And absolutely not did he think about him going from tagging trains, being thrown in jail for a little while, to actually, doing art that could be appreciated by people. But that's the beauty of blockchain, right? I mean, NFTs get a bad rap by a lot of people, and it's understandable because there are a lot of scams out there. But they're also a good thing because they can expose the world to someone's art that they would otherwise not have get exposure to, right? And when they get sold on secondaries, those royalties go back to the creators as well, including the artist. And back in the day before blockchain, it might have been a lot harder to get this. It might have been a lot more inaccessible, and they would have had to have worked 20 times as hard to get sort of recognition. So now with the advent of blockchain, which is why we really love it, we can share that, and I think he's very excited for it.
Nice.
But right now we've got him locked up finishing and polishing off the rest of the collection. But once we get him out, like, we hope to get him on some of the things, because in our Discord people have been asking for him as well, like to discuss graffiti and things like that. So we've got a really cool vibe going on there, and we hope you can join us.
That'd be sweet. You might have to get him a voice changer so like the caps don't like track his voice somehow, just some crazy ass shit. You know what I mean? But I guess kind of last question to kind of wrap it up, because I mean we just hit it at the 40-minute mark. Because we've talked about a lot of things. Honestly, what was anything that I guess we haven't really talked about that you or the team are excited about, or I guess any alpha type information I guess you could give, and if not, again, all good. But anything that we haven't really talked about that you want the community and people to know?
No, I think we pretty much covered everything. Like, I just want to see people show up and take a space, right, and kick some ass. Like, you know, Thugbirds are one of the OG, most excited, high energy NFTs. So I want to see that represented, and I hope I do. The last thing I'll say is, I mentioned there are 6 bases. So we're playing around a little bit with the traits and everything and finalizing that. But I think you'll see that 4 of them are quite, will be specials and rarer than the two main base ones. So that's pretty much all for now.
Nice. And I guess to kind of wrap it up, give us, I guess, the how many are going to be there? When's the overall mint date goal, and how much is it going to be to mint?
Yes, that's an important one. So it'll be 5,555 tokens at 1 sol each, and then we'll reserve about 100 or so, 150 or so for the team, giveaways, collaborations, and we're looking to put some legendaries as well together for auction. And some of the, we're, again, this is not, this is a little fluid, so it's not a promise, but one of the ideas that we had is that we could even use some of these legendary slots to give to one artist to showcase them, if we get the right sort of people coming on board. But that also depends on the traction we get, right? But that's the thing, we can do all these creative things, and I'm so excited by it.
Nice, man. I'm excited to see what will unfold, honestly, because again, I think it's actually really cool, and there's a lot of potential just on the essence of, like you said, I mean, it all depends on, I guess, the community that y'all overall build, but I think it'd be fresh to have some dope ass art on one of those, basically just the canvas, like you said, and somehow have it with the story where it's worth a lot and everything like that, because the only real NFT I know that's Fractionalized, has a lot of stuff in it, I guess, is the NFT on Ethereum, the dog one, the NFT or whatnot like that. So
okay, and imagine this, right? If we get enough people drawing, it will be the first celebration of the year that we've had as a Solana community. So if we can get enough of that, that would be a beautiful mural.
No, 100%. That's why I said I want to see y'all do some work on that, because I think it can be really good. But on that note, I think we are gonna honestly wrap it up, because again, I know you got some stuff going on. Money did not text me. I was gonna lie and say he just got like 4 strikes in a row, but he probably had like 7 in a row.
Yeah, I'm definitely not killing you, boys. I'm in shit. I'm in third. I'm in third.
Okay.
I'm getting slapped right now. You gotta wish me luck. And I'm only getting a little more tipsy, so maybe it'll straighten my shot, maybe not. But it's a hard time right here. Very, very intense bowling game. So wish me luck, please.
Get it, my guy.
Best of luck.
All right.
Thanks for coming on the podcast, I really appreciate it. Sorry to cut you out, guys, but thanks a lot, Saint, for coming on. I really appreciate it, dude.
Thanks,
everybody. Go make the project. Yeah.
I'm about to say, stick around for a quick second, Saint. I'm gonna go ahead and end it up. But again, man, thank you very much for coming out, taking some, I guess, time out of your mid morning now. So I appreciate that. But yeah, be right back. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I want to say thank everyone for coming in, tuning in, showing some love. Again, it's your boy Gaddis Status, aka Gaddis TV. Shout out to all the Thugbirds out there. Shout out to Saint Eclectic, excuse me. I'm always messing that one up. But as always, y'all, stay fresh, stay clean, stay positive. Go ahead and hit them a follow on Twitter, and go ahead and show them some love in the Discord. Till next time, y'all, stay fresh, stay clean, stay positive, and cook.